Welcome to a new video where we will explore together the intriguing connection between Stoic philosophy and how Marcus Aurelius guides us to deal with our fears. This is a theme that is relevant to all of us, especially in today's fast-paced world, where pressure and stress tend to feed our fears. Who was Marcus Aurelius, you may ask? Well, he was none other than one of the 5 good emperors of the Roman Empire. Not only was he a capable statesman and skilled military leader, but he was also a profound thinker. Let me tell you, this man was no stranger to adversities and setbacks, yet he used these challenges as fuel to nurture his soul and mind. Marcus Aurelius was a Stoic, a philosophical school that advocates that virtue is sufficient for happiness. He left us a gem, Meditations, an intimate view of his mind, as he dissected all the activities of life, always through the lens of Stoic philosophy. Now, if you're not yet familiar with Stoic philosophy, let me tell you a bit about it. It originated in ancient Greece and quickly gained fame for its unique and practical approach to life. The Stoics often said that we are not affected by what happens to us, but by our perception of what happens. Now imagine the power of such a perspective when confronting and managing our fears. Marcus Aurelius's Stoic teachings are incredibly relevant even today. His wisdom challenges us to reflect, accept things as they are, and live fully in the present. All this serves to strengthen us in our daily battle against various forms of fear, whether it's the fear of public speaking, failure, or even the underlying fear of aging and death. So, I invite you now to join me on this journey as we learn more about the nature of fear, how it can affect our lives, the precious lessons from Marcus Aurelius, and how we can overcome our fears through Stoic philosophy. Let's discover together the light at the end of fear's tunnel. Often, fear is a greater threat than the reality it is linked to. It can hover over us like a dark cloud, distorting our perspective of the world and how we face it. One of the reasons fear is so powerful and dominant is its irrational nature. Once fear enters our minds, it has the ability to manipulate our thinking, making decisions for us that do not reflect reality. It's like a distorted mirror that twists our vision and makes us imagine the worst. But it's important to remember that this is just an illusion. Let's look at some common examples of fears. The fear of public speaking, for instance, is an overwhelming feeling that affects many people. This fear turns the simple act of standing before a group of people into a horrible experience. The fear of failure is another striking example. It limits our ability to take risks, try new things, and potentially achieve success. To err is human, but fearing failure deprives us of the opportunity to learn and grow. Moreover, existential issues such as aging and death can cause profound fears in us. Although they are inevitable parts of life, our fear of these realities often prevents us from fully enjoying our present, causing us to live in constant dread of life's natural course. In the next chapter, we will explore how these fears can infiltrate our minds, creating barriers that prevent us from achieving our goals and living our lives to the fullest. And as you reflect on these common fears, remember, in silence we learn, in wisdom we grow. Stay tuned because there is a way to address and overcome these fears. Just wait and see. Have you ever felt paralyzed by fear, as if you were stuck even before you could move? In its invisible grip, fear holds many of us, creating a mental wall that often prevents us from achieving our most ambitious goals. But how does this wall rise? How does fear gain such formidable power over our minds? Well, based on our personal experiences and the fears many of you have shared with us, we've identified a common pattern. It can be something as specific as the fear of public speaking, or something more abstract like the fear of the unknown. Regardless of the type, fear, by its very nature, distorts our reality and creates a dark and threatening illusion. Let's say, for example, you have an important presentation to deliver. Nights before the big day, you might already feel anxious, worrying about possible disastrous scenarios. Fear creates a distorted projection, making a mountain out of a molehill, such that the simple act of presenting becomes an insurmountable obstacle in your mind. This is how fear dominates our thoughts, keeping us trapped in a constant cycle of self-censorship and doubt. These feelings aren't limited to isolated or episodic issues. In fact, this persistent sense of fear and anxiety can have lasting effects on our mental and physical health. We know that our minds and bodies are connected in surprising and intrinsic ways. Therefore, living constantly in fear can lead to problems like sleep difficulties, lack of focus, exhaustion, headaches, digestive issues, and more. Anxiety, stress, and even depression are becoming increasingly common in our current society. These conditions can undermine confidence, stifle creativity, and inhibit joy, slowly eroding our overall well-being. In the constant pursuit of success and perfection, we often neglect our emotions and fears, allowing them to take control of our lives. This is not just an individual problem, it's a problem for everyone. From children to adults, from students to CEOs, from artists to scientists. After all, we are all human, facing our fears and anxieties on our journey through life. But the question is, do we really need to live under the constant shadow of fear? Well, that's the end of this chapter. In the next chapter, we'll tackle some fantastic solutions inspired by Marcus Aurelius and Stoic philosophy to deal with these fears. As always, in silence, we learn. In wisdom, we grow. As we turn our gaze to the past, we find valuable lessons for the present. One of the wisest voices in history is that of Marcus Aurelius, Roman emperor and prominent Stoic philosopher. In his book, Meditations, Marcus Aurelius left us valuable teachings on how to deal with our fears and uncertainties. Among the many nuances of Stoic thought, 4 principles stand out and can be incorporated into our daily routines as a guide to overcoming our fears. Let's chart a step-by-step roadmap for implementing these teachings in your life. The first step is the practice of daily reflection. Marcus Aurelius encouraged self-analysis as a way to understand and confront our fears. So, each day, set aside a few moments to look inward and understand what causes you fear, why, and how this fear affects your life. This practice of introspection and self-connection provides us with the mental clarity to identify and face our irrational fears. The second step is to accept things as they are. Marcus Aurelius taught that we must accept that things beyond our control are by nature immutable. Embracing this reality can free us from the fear of the unknown and the fear of loss. When we accept what we cannot control, we allow ourselves to focus on what we can influence. Next, practicing self-control is essential. Stoic philosophy makes it clear that our reactions and emotions are within our control. When we feel fear, we can choose how to respond to it. These choices will define how that fear will impact our daily lives. Finally, the fourth principle is to live in the present. Marcus Aurelius emphasizes the idea that fear is often tied to anticipation of the future or fixation on the past. By focusing on the present, we can free ourselves from these chains, directing attention only to what we can influence, the here and now. These are the foundations of Stoic wisdom from Marcus Aurelius's perspective. Over centuries, they have served as a beacon for many seeking to address and overcome their fears, embracing life in all its complexities. Always remember our mantra: in silence we learn, in wisdom we grow. In the next section of this video, we will explore the positive impact these simple yet powerful Stoic principles can have on our lives. There's something truly transformative about delving into Stoic philosophy and letting it reshape how we view and deal with fear. Imagine the power of casting aside blinding fears and living life with clarity, a sense of inner peace, evolution, and self-control. This is the fertile emotional ground that Stoic philosophy can create. Stoic philosophy teaches us to live in the present, focus on what we can control, and accept what we cannot. Thus, the fears that plague us, the fear of failure, the fear of the unknown, the fear of rejection, lose their grip on us. Instead of being consumed by worry and uncertainty, we learn to embrace challenges with calm and courage. Let's consider some inspiring stories of individuals who have benefited from Stoic philosophy. Professionals who once trembled at the thought of speaking in public learned to see such situations differently, not as a death sentence for their dignity if something went wrong, but as a valuable opportunity to learn and grow. Fear no longer sits in the driver's seat. They do. Consider the transformation of people devastated by the fear of death. Unable to enjoy the present, they were constantly tormented by the shadow of mortality. But by embracing Stoic philosophy, they came to understand that death is a natural and inevitable part of life, and that fearing it only prevents us from appreciating the time we have. Living in the present, instead, frees us to experience life in all its fullness. Think about the many cases of people governed by the fear of failure. The mere image of failing was enough to paralyze them, keeping them from pursuing their dreams. But with Stoic philosophy, they learn to recognize that failure is simply part of the path to growth. It's not something to fear, but to embrace. In doing so, they gain the confidence to take risks and chase their dreams. These stories are not exceptions, but examples of how we can all benefit from Stoic philosophy. By freeing ourselves from the shackles of fear, we not only improve our mental health, but also enhance our overall well-being. With self-control and inner peace, we empower personal growth and become the best versions of ourselves. In the end, we don't need to be shackled by fear. We can find in Stoic philosophy the key to a more enlightened and serene life. By using fear as our teacher rather than our enemy, we can move toward a richer, more rewarding existence. Ready to embark on this transformative journey, let's move forward and recap what we've learned. Remember, wisdom is not just to be absorbed, but to be put into practice. As the motto of our channel says, in silence we learn, in wisdom we grow. Throughout this video, we've navigated the turbulent seas of fear, but we've also discovered how Stoic philosophy and the teachings of Marcus Aurelius can serve as a compass on this journey. We've uncovered that fears, no matter how large they may seem initially, are controllable, but always remember that these fears are just products of our minds and can be overcome. We've reviewed in detail how fear can dominate our minds, but we've also learned that by embracing Stoicism in our lives, we can put an end to the cycle of fear. By applying Stoic practices such as daily reflection, accepting reality as it is, exercising self-control and living in the present, we can achieve the much-desired peace of mind. Moreover, we've discussed the broader benefits of practicing Stoic philosophy beyond just managing fear. In our daily lives, we can observe significant improvements in our mental health and overall well-being, along with personal growth and inner peace. To conclude, remember the words of Marcus Aurelius himself. You have power over your mind, not external events. Realize this, and you will find strength. May this thought inspire and motivate us not only to overcome our fears, but also to adopt Stoic philosophy in our daily lives. In silence we learn, in wisdom we grow. In this continuous journey of learning and growth, we hope today's lessons have been valuable to you. Thank you so much to everyone who has accompanied us so far. I hope the lessons learned can be applied in your daily life to help you overcome your fears. How about becoming part of our community? It's simple, just subscribe to our channel. And of course, give us that thumbs up. If you enjoyed it, share our video. By doing so, you help us spread inspiring content that can help transform lives. And remember, In silence we learn, in wisdom we grow. We look forward to having you join us as we continue on this journey of learning and growth. See you in the next video. Welcome to our new video, where today we will address a profound yet fundamental question. A question that has probably crossed your mind or even tormented you. The question is, why don't our negative thoughts define us? Throughout our lives, at some point, the vast majority of us have been haunted by negative thoughts that made us question our worth, our abilities, and even our lives. Today, on our journey together, we've decided to challenge these precepts and conventional beliefs. We will implement a new and intriguing perspective, rethinking these mental labels we adopt and how they have shaped our experiences, our responses, and our lives. The main goal of this video is to encourage you to reclaim the authority over your own life narrative, to make you realize the importance of choosing words and thoughts that empower you over those that imprison you. And in this process, how the act of discarding negative thoughts can be fundamental to your liberation and growth. Our target audience is courageous individuals who are on a journey of recovering from trauma or on the incredible journey of greater self-awareness. This video aims to shed new light on your personal perspective, helping illuminate the dark spots of negative thoughts and self-criticism that may be dragging you down. As you continue watching this video, we'll discuss in detail the harmful effects of self-labeling negativity. Picture in your mind the image of a heavy chain. Now imagine that every negative thought, every label you give yourself, is another link in that chain. Over time, these chains can become so heavy that they prevent us from moving forward, reaching new heights and growing. Negative self-labeling has profound effects on every aspect of our lives, from how we see ourselves to the quality of our interpersonal relationships. Understanding this issue and its impacts is the first step toward your mental and emotional freedom.